Hey, Papa Fix-It, what are you working on today? Well, here we go, boys and girls. This is a Motorcraft ignition lock cylinder rebuild kit. Comes complete with all the new tumblers, all the new switch lock bodies, cylinder bodies, and all. The bezel's falling off, and it's getting real sloppy in there, and it's just about to fall right out of the column. So let's get in here and take this apart and see how big a headache it really is. So first things first, this cover that goes around the tilt mechanism and the steering column has to come off. So there's 3 bolts that come in from underneath right here. 1, 2, 3. Those bolts are 5.5 millimeter in this vehicle. Maybe not in your vehicle, but in this vehicle they are. This is a 2007 Expedition. 5.5 is real tiny. It's real little. And a lot of kits won't have a 5.5, but they will have a 5 and they will have a 6. Anyways, let's get this out of here. I think I'll get the... Why don't I get the driver? Get a lot fast. There they are, boys and girls. Tiny little screws. 3 of them. They're all the same. Don't lose them. Don't lose those screws. All right, that takes care of that. That's what I did her with. So you got to get between the 2 pieces from bottom to top and then pop it up. Actually, you get between them and then you pop the top one in and up. There you go. All right. Up and out of there. This guy up all the way. You have your tilt lever over here on this other side. So when you pull this one loose, let's get the key out of there. You're going to have to kind of flex it around these mechanisms. All right. I wonder to myself whether you could pop the bottom off without popping the top off, and it'd save you a step. And then you could go ahead and do this without removing the top, but it may not work, and I didn't try it, so I can't answer that question for you. All right, so anyways, this is a security, I don't know what they call it, but it's a security sensor, and your key's got a chip inside of it, and if it's not close enough to this ring, your vehicle won't start. So we're gonna have to. This comes off with a couple of tabs right here and right here. So we'll get back in here. We'll pop those tabs off. See if we can see them. Yeah, look, right there. This black pops up and over that gray tab. And there's one on this side as well. Anyways, we'll pop those off there, and that should just hang out of the way. Then there's a screw coming up behind this, coming up from underneath behind this, so you have to slide this out of the way and get in here. Not too bad, you saw that, and it didn't break anything. And I just used my knife from my Swiss Army knife kit. So there's that ring. It's got an actual name, but today I can't tell you what it is. Okay, so down in here, there's a tab. There's a hole right here, and there's a retainer with a push button release. So I've got to get up in there and find that. Okay, there's the hole. So I lost my light. There's the hole. Is that the tab right there? Okay, that's the tab. That darker piece right there has a beveled edge. You see that beveled edge? And then there's a lighter colored piece next to it that it's resting against. Well, that beveled edge is the part that depresses, and so you get a punch or something, screwdriver in here, you press that in, and this cylinder has to come out. So what we'll do is we'll put the key in and we'll turn that 45 or so, turn it to the start position, and then depress that and try to slide the whole assembly out. So we'll see how it goes. Telling you guys, you're in it with me. Ta-da! That was harder than it had to be. Took about 3 different. Here's the detent that we were aiming for, and then it popped out of there. So there you go. Let's take this into the other room, get some clean work environment. These are the tools that we're going to start with. A little hook pick, a Phillips screwdriver with a dirty tip, camera focused, and another Phillips. I thought I had a flathead. I don't. And last but not least, we will be employing the use of the Swiss Army knife with 20 different functions. And the use of one giant Stanley thermos mug. All right, I've been studying it for a minute, and it looks like it has this retaining ring on the back, and that'll just slide out of there if we open that ring or take that ring off. Probably have to turn this to 90 degrees because that's where all your tumblers are going to be compressed into that cylinder, and it'll slide out once this retaining ring's off. So let's take that retaining ring off. Now all I got to do, I got a little epiphany, put my screwdriver in there and pried, and it pulled this pin right down. So let's see if we can get this off of here without the needle nose pliers. There you go. So far, no pliers needed. Here it comes. It's going to come apart now. Every time I do this, I check things slow because I don't want pieces falling everywhere. Set those pieces aside. Now these may come out pretty easy with this hook pick, and I might have to get a flathead screwdriver and push those out from the other side. Now they are spring loaded, so we got to watch for the spring as we go. All right, but this is the ignition key end, so this is the retaining end that goes in the column. So let's work from the outside in. Well, right. Yeah. Let's work from the outside in. All right, that's your little teeny tiny spring. And that little teeny tiny spring goes under this little teeny tiny tumbler, right? That little teeny tiny tumbler has a number on it right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a number 5. And so that is the way it goes back in the hole with the spring underneath the little lever out there. And that one just came out of the second hole on this top side of this tumbler, so I'm going to lay it over here, right? Now, then if the next one I take out over here, I'll put over here so I can keep them organized. So I've got 4 up here and 3 down here. The way I got that one out is the slot in this one was tall enough that it sticks up above the cylinder, so I was able to work my hook completely under it, like so, and it popped it right out. This one didn't even have a detent left on it, so that's my next one. That is also a number 5. Oh, and these little slots, you see they have a slot and then a keyhole on one end. Slot with a keyhole. That keyhole is where that tiny spring is wedged in, slid down in there. And there are new springs that come in the kit, so they have to come out and they have to be replaced. So that's how that goes. All right, so now this one, you can see that maybe. I can't see it, it won't come up far enough. That's probably because it's not a 5, right? The 5 sticks has a bigger hole in it. Whatever it is, it's not elevated enough that I can get my my pick through it to pop it out of there. Could almost get it. Like I was getting underneath this edge and trying to lever it up, but I was afraid I was going to break my pick or stab myself in the finger. There's a good possibility I'll do either and both before the day's over. Ah, there we go. All right, so that one came out. That is a number 2. And we're going to hope there is. I guess we can pop it out. Dang it, that one took off. Guys, that one went a ways. Here's your Motorcraft. Here's your Motorcraft cylinder kit, lock cylinder kit, SW6991, also listed under part number AU5Z-11582-B. I was able to search it. There's also a QR code. You might be able to pause and track that thing. I was able to search it and find it. All right, here is a bag of 4 number 1s. So you have, in this kit, you have 20 tumblers. You have 4 of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so here is our new cylinder with our new dust and bezel protection, right? Right out of frame here, but within my frame of reference right over there, I can see that the bottom has the 3 tumblers in it. And so we're going to start here at the front with you can see the keyhole on this very well, it's well defined because it's clean. So we're going to install that spring, and then we're going to install the correct corresponding number of tumbler that goes in there. And so I'm going to refer to the old one. We're going to look at that. And under the camera, I don't know if you can make it out, but I can see that that is a 5. I should have wrote. Okay, we're going to get a brand new spring. We're going to drop this brand new spring in the first keyhole. Go ahead and push it down. Now, when you put the key in, or the tumbler, right, this side here that sticks out with that little shelf on it, that side goes over the keyhole and over the spring, right? And then you see there's, next to my thumb, there's a bulge right there. It's a little detent. So there's going to be a tight spot in here that you have to push this back past when you compress that spring. The spring isn't going to give you any resistance. This detent is. And so it's going to be a pretty firm snap, but that's what we're going to want to do. So I've put some grease in there. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the body of this tumbler. All right, let's see here. And we're going to push this in, hopefully. All right, there you go. All right, now see, that is pushed past the detent, and it did take a significant amount of force. I didn't need a hydraulic. So you line this up in this groove right here with this detent that we were calling the bottom. I don't care if it is the bottom or the top, but that lines up with that groove, right? And now to slide this in, you've got to go one by one and depress the tumblers to slide this in, right? And so we're just going to work it down into that cylinder one tumbler at a time until we get it in the back in the lock cylinder. So you got to go side to side and just move them one at a time. There we go. Now we're all the way in. See that? So all of them are depressed. We're all the way in. If we turn that, all of the tumblers are going to drop into this slot and this slot, thereby locking the cylinder in place where it cannot be turned to turn the engine on or off. Correct? And that will also, that should also lock that in place where you can't remove it from the cylinder. But so I needed a little space. I was holding it too tight. So now well, it's not wanting to clear this one right here, I think. Yeah, it don't want to work. Well, well, guys, I'm jammed up. Well, I'm going to have to go in here and depress these tumblers with a flat piece of metal or a screwdriver and get this tumbler out of here, or the cylinder out, so I can check all those numbers because it's not functioning. So we'll see how that goes. That's probably not going to be a real fun thing to do, but I should be able to do it. Just have to get long enough pin. I got a couple of tools. I'm going to go get some tools. All right.
Yeah, I got in the pool because I was just hot. I've been out there since 7.
All right. So I changed that out. I had that one in wrong. I had a 4 in there, and it needed a 2 in there.
Yeah.
And so now they all look really, really close. Let's see if I can figure out a way to test that theory without getting it stuck in there again. I don't know if I can, but we're gonna try.
Get myself cleaned up too. Okay. All righty. Love you. I love you.
I don't think there's a way to test that. There might be in this, if we test it in this old cylinder. Well, in the old cylinder, it works. See what it did there? We slide it in there and it rotates. So now in the old cylinder it's rotating, but it was worn. The new cylinder is a little tighter fit, so will it rotate in it? I don't know. I found the first key I checked was proud. It was sticking up past the detent. These are all very, very, very close. So let's give it another shot. And come on. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe you heard me off camera, but this thing has a little spring detent in it. It's supposed to close that door there. And then when you push it in, it pushes back and gives you a little more room. And look at that. So when it comes out, it's got a spring on it, pushes back, closes the dust door, right? And when you push on this, it slides the cylinder back, and then that door opens. And then the key goes in, and all the tumblers are out of the way. It will turn inside the cylinder with no resistance. So I had one tumbler wrong. So be careful, guys. So to recap, we got the correct tumbler in there now. We've got the retaining snap ring on the back side of this. The key goes in effortlessly. The cylinder turns effortlessly. So it's time to go put this back. All right, we're back inside the car. We've got the cylinder. It's got to go back in. Everything goes back the way it came out. It ought to be simple, but you and I both know it never is. Let's give her a go. All right. Key comes out. Key goes in. Key turns. Beautiful. Like I said, there's a little tab on each side. There we go. All right. Yep. Now that's locked on. That's it. That's it for the security ring. Found the ignition switch here. We've got to move and maneuver this slot around the tilt lever over. All right. There we go. Now we got it. All right, 3 screws in there, and we're done. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you mean, uh-oh? There we go. There we are. Ignition switch. Ignition switch is repaired. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching Papa Fix It. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a click. Hey, what does Papa Fix It always say? If I can't fix it, I can fix it where no one else can. Thanks. Have a good day.